It's a sad day in the fish room. Got to make a few changes if we want to fit more tanks in here. What's up, guys? I'm Trent Wel-Don, Wel-Don Aquatics. Join me along how we change some things in the fish room here. We're going to talk about it. Know that we recently just got the PetSmart tank set up. That video's out. That system is running. The thing is awesome. Probably my favorite nano tank that I've ever done. Well, let's be honest, it's probably like my third nano tank I've ever done. But today we got to make a few changes in here. I've got one more tank I want to add into this fish room, and sometimes compromises have to be made. Sometimes I got to change some things around. So what we're going to do today is we are going to combine the guppy tanks. This is my super red delta guppy colony that I've been breeding, and I've been honestly been back and forth if I wanted to keep them a pure line or just combine them with other guppies and just enjoy guppies all together. So that's what I've decided to do. I realized I wasn't going to put as much time and effort into actually breeding these guys properly to get the full red coloration I wanted. So we're going to combine them with the rest of my guppy colony and just let them have some fun, just enjoy the colors that come out of them. And I really don't think they're going to be in my forever fish room. So that's why I've decided to do this, just to enjoy them while I can. So here's the breakdown. I've got some plants in this tank that are in holding right now that are going to go into other tanks. We'll show you what I do with those later. But I've got a big ball of guppy grass, duckweed. I think there's some Java moss in here that I need to get rid of. And unfortunately, sometimes I just got to make that call. But what I think I'm going to do is I've got that snail colony going. I think I'm going to drop a whole bunch of that into that snail colony and let them munch on that a little bit. So let's get started. Kind of show you how I do it. So the first thing I'm going to do, and both of these tanks need water changes today, I'm going to grab these potted plants and we're going to just move them over to the guppy tank that's still going to be going right now. We're just going to drop those in there. What's always nice about using other tanks to hold plants is that they will still suck up the nitrates and all that you may have in your tank. So even while they're in holding, it's still a beneficial process. Alrighty. Now what we're going to do is I'm just going to, this is such a big ball of junk. So what I'm going to do is just kind of grab that out. I wish I could reuse some of this, but there's just so much. It's so entangled. I don't want all this duckweed in all my other tanks. I mean, guys, just look at this. Look at that. That is Java moss, guppy grass, and just pure duckweed all in that ball. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of poke through it really quick in my 5-gallon bucket and make sure there's no guppies actually stuck in this, as I use it to hide a lot in. But man, I think that we got that all in one chunk, really. Oh, we got one that died. That's unfortunate. I'm sure the snails had a nice meal out of that poor guy. Alrighty. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to siphon this water down. I may siphon this water down to help me catch the guppies easier, just so I can transfer the next take over. Get that started. I think when I do this, well, since I'm getting rid of this tank, I'm just going to siphon out as much junk as I can while I'm doing this. Make that cleanup process a little easier. And another reason why I decided to shut this tank down was I could, with all the guppy, that big ball of plant matter we had in here, I couldn't fully always see the guppies that were in here, so I didn't always know what was going on with the genetics in here. See, already as I'm doing this, I already see a little one that has a bent spine on it. That's too bad that happens. Nothing we can do to correct that. He's struggling to swim. So we're going to go ahead and we'll pull that guy. And another thing I noticed about this tank, just kind of a funny side note, with all the guppies I had in here, I wasn't getting that many fry. Not nearly as many as the red deltas. So I really started focusing on what the difference was, and well, I have 2 African dwarf frogs in here that I got for free. Not really paying attention, they were gobbling up the new fry. So it's if you're looking for a easy tank mate for guppies to keep the colony down, throw in a couple dwarf frogs, they'll eat them right up. Alright, that'll get us started. And now we're gonna net out all the guppies and transfer them to the next tank. Now the only difference between these two tanks may be the temperature, as one has a heater and one doesn't. But beyond that, the guppies will not be harmed going from tank to tank like this because the water parameters are just so close. And what's interesting is I'm adding guppies to this other tank. I didn't realize exactly how many fry I had in here. I've got a whole, geez, over 30 fry in the front of that tank right now. So what I may have to do in the coming days is actually go through that colony and thin it out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand pull out all the rest of the snails. I'm going to drop a few in the puffer tank, give him a meal right now while we're doing this. And once I'm done with that and done draining the tank, we'll talk some more. Alright guys, so I finished getting that 10-gallon tank drained. So what I'm going to do now is all the airline, the sponge filter, all that is reusable. But I got all that duckweed caked on, so I'm going to pack all that in this tank and take it out to my garage, let it dry out so I can take a razor blade and scrape everything off to get the tank ready for future use. So here's the rest of the rundown. This guppy tank is going to slide over. The snail tank is going to come here. I'm still deciding if I'm going to combine those two tanks, the guppies and the snails, because I noticed in this guppy tank those ram's horn snails got really big. So I'm debating on combining these two and shutting one more down. Combining these two and shutting one more tank down. And then since this is the quarantine tank, the plecos, the super reds, are going to go in the 75. And everything else is going to go in a new tank I've got. And that new tank's going to go right here. That's why these tanks have got to get moved. Future plans. If you want to see what those future plans are, hit that subscribe button and we'll talk more in the future. For now guys, I hope you're having a fantastic day and good luck on your fish keeping.